A few folks have asked some questions about how to create a Google Doc out of the new weekly check-in or quarterly check-in. And so we're just going to do a little how-to video here. I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you. And so from your email system, once this gets, oh, I have to click share, that's why. So once, like, you're in your email system, what you'll do is you will click on your waffle and go to Google Docs, and it will pull up and ask what kind of templates you want to use. We're just going to use a blank one. And I've already copied the weekly check-in from a regular Word doc. This Zoom recording doesn't allow me to go in between different apps on the screen. So I've already copied it, and we're going to paste it into this document. And in Google Docs, they don't like the right click of the mouse, so you have to use Control V to paste that information in. The formatting is a little bit strange, so you can fix the formatting to get it all on just the way it was. You can change things up to make it the way you like. But here's basically the document that we have here, and we've talked about making this a living document. So you're going to be adding to this every week. So before I would even type in the first week's worth of notes or minutes, I would make a copy of this so I always have a blank template with which to work. And like I said, I'm kind of fixing the formatting here. You don't, you can leave it how you want. But so we're going to click and drag, and then again in Google Docs you have to hit Control C. So now we've copied it again, and we're going to hit Control Enter. That takes us to a new page, and again we'll hit Control V, and that creates a new copy of it that we'll use next week. So now we have our document here, but it's untitled. So you'll come up to this box, and they pre-fill it with your first line, weekly team check-in notes. So that works for me. So that's what we'll title it. And so then you'll go through, and you as the team leader, as the site manager, you'll put in your name as the host. You'll put in today's date, and then you will put in which employees were present on this particular day for the meeting. So we'll just say at this meeting that we had Huey, Dewey, and Louie in attendance. And so then you'll just have your meeting. You'll talk about what your priorities were last week, and how much progress you made on them, where you stand on them, kind of your status of each project. You'll look back at last week and talk about what went well. And Huey might say that he made a new chocolate cake recipe, and it was well received. It got rave reviews. And then you can do the same thing with Dewey and Louie, and just put in what were the clear wins and the best stories. And putting it in by name will help you when you get to the quarterly check-in. What you want to be able to do is have a weekly check-in that feeds that quarterly individual check-in, because the questions we're going to ask are the very same. And then you can say, what struggles did we have? And maybe we had an issue with John Jingleheimer's meal delivery. One day he wasn't there. We couldn't reach him on the phone. Called the emergency contact and discovered he had a medical appointment. So we identify, hey, this issue came up, and then we talk about what did we learn from it. And maybe we learned that the emergency contact, the phone number had changed. And fortunately, we were still able to reach them, but we need to update the emergency contact number. So you just walk through your whole list and fill stuff in. Okay, what are we focused on this week? As the supervisor, what can I do to help you? And just walk through it and fill this in. The great thing about Google Docs is that you don't have to save them. I mean, they automatically back up every couple of seconds, and when you go to leave it, it will save it for you. What you need to do, though, is create a way to come back to this. So to do that, go to File and go to Add Shortcut to Drive. And you can click on your drive, go to My Drive, and you'll have your folders there if you have folders. And I'll just put this under my Chief Human Resource Officer folder. And I'm going to add a shortcut here so that I can come back to this next week. All right, so a shortcut has been added. So in the future, what I'll do is go to the waffle again, go to Google Drive, go to My Drive, open up that folder, and that shortcut will be there. Then the last thing that you need to be able to do is share this. So I would share it with everyone on my team. All right, so I would type in Huey. Of course, there is no Huey in our system, but I would put in Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I would share it with them. Then I would share it with Star because she's my supervisor, so that everyone has access. In this way, the whole process is transparent. Everyone is able to see what we're recording in that weekly check-in. All right. So I'll go ahead and send this to Becca just to be fun for her, and let her know this was just a test. This was only a test. So I'm going to send that to her to share this document with her. And that's pretty much everything that you have to do with this. Creating the quarterly individual check-in works exactly the same way. Create a new Google Doc, title it, create a shortcut for it. The only difference is you share it with that person, you share it with your supervisor, and then you also share the individual ones with me for the HR department. And that is pretty much all that happens with the Google Doc. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to stop that share, and we'll come back to this ghastly apparition here, and we'll stop this video. But just wanted to thank everyone for the support that you have for this new process. And as always, if you do have questions, feel free to ask.